All right, talking about UTR now.
Can I have a question, Ron?
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Quick one. So obviously, you were in leagues. We play opponents twice, once away, once home. That counts as 2 contacts, right? That's
correct.
Okay. So just made sure.
Yeah. All right. Universal UTR is rebranded. It's now called Universal Tennis, but still the same address. Everything will still work. So you'll see that. UTR is now just a ranking component of Universal Tennis. You'll see if you've watched them a little bit, now they've expanded to tournaments, team matches, things of that sort as well. So you see that. And one thing that they have put together, it's on our website as well, on the CIF website, is the coaches packet, which kind of, you'll see some of these on the slides. It talks about how to add or what the process is. You know, what we're going to talk about tonight, how to add new players, post scores. There are some frequently asked questions here that are good for you to answer, you know, in case you get these asked by parents and other players. You'll have, let's see, yeah, how to activate your school page and add players, which I'll talk about as well. So good information for coaches to kind of review and do this for UTR. All right. Which you can get, I'll share, it'll be on our website, or I can email it to you if you need, if that is needed as well. And let me introduce you to Jonathan. Jonathan has been instrumental in really implementing UTR for us. He's our representative at UTR. If you want to take a screenshot, or this presentation will be shared again, here's his email address. Anything tech related, I would suggest emailing him and myself. That way, one of us gets it, and usually Jonathan and I are pretty competitive. We'll see who can get to it first and fix it. Sometimes I'll screw it up and he'll fix it for me. So, but best process is if you have a technical question, email one of us and one of us will get back to you. And Jonathan is very quick. He will get back to you within 24 hours. I will as well. It just depends on what's going on with me as well at CIF or other sports. So that's Jonathan. And again, he's been great for our section and getting this moving and moving forward. There we talked about the match format, how we're going back to the round robin. All right, so 3 singles, 3 doubles. The nice thing is, and coaches, you do not have to worry about it. That did co-ed, you do not have to worry about the order of your players. All right, because it's round robin now, you can put whomever at 1, whomever at 2, whomever at 3. There is no set lineup based on their UTR. Okay, so we do not have to worry about that anymore. Back to round robin. You are playing 18 total sets. All right, and during the regular season, consult your conference rulebook and as far as what your type of scoring is. Most, I believe, I don't want to say most, I know some do no add by default, some do add, but double check with your conference, double check with your league rep as far as what scoring you use by default. Say, for example, a conference uses no add. I do know if it's upon agreement before the match starts, coaches and teams can play add scoring. You know, if they have lights, if they have the time, you can play different as long as both coaches agree prior to the match starting.
And that is going to be a problem because the time change is going to fall towards the end of the season, and we're going to be out of light at about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Exactly. Thank you. And the other thing too, for city conference and some schools out there, you also have the healthy start. So school is starting later in the morning, which means kids are getting out later in the afternoon, which also means I know for city conference, and this may be the same for some others, your match times have been delayed to 4 o'clock for league matches, for league contests. So light becomes an issue, especially at the end of the season. So no ad scoring is not the complete solution, but that is something to keep in mind with light. If you don't have lights at your facility, to make sure you can get your entire match in and get everybody playing matches. So it is something to make sure you are aware of moving forward, especially at the end of the season. For the playoffs, we will be doing ad scoring, but the match time, you see, will be set earlier because CIF can dictate when the matches start. They're usually a 2:30 or 3 o'clock start, so you should have time to get a complete match in. Okay. And here we talked about, this is one of the most important reasons for UTR, guys, and why we're all talking about this. It is imperative that everybody does their part to make sure their team page and their rankings and their schedule and results are updated. Because at the end of the season, this is how your divisions are going to be determined. Teams rank. It's going to be one ranking sheet. Teams ranked number 1 through 8 will become the open division. Teams in number 9 through 24 are going to be Division 1. Teams in Division 2 are number 25 through 40, and Division 3 will be number 41 through 56. Based on those Power 9 cumulative rankings given to us by Universal Tennis on October 23rd. The committee will go through each of those. We go from 1 through 60 just to make sure. We are going to compare head-to-head results as well in determining the seedings. That is, everything is not UTR, but there are league-based and overall match results are also taken into consideration when we do the seedings for the playoffs. But everything is UTR-based, so this is why it's important. Everybody needs to do their part and make sure their schedules and scores are all up to date as the season progresses through. All right, and we're talking about those seedings as well. If there's a league champion, if you're winning your league, but you're ranked outside of the top 56, our bylaws say, and this happens for every sport, a league champion will get to host a play-in match versus the lowest ranked team, lowest seeded team on that Monday, October 25th. Okay, so if you're ranked 60, but you won your league, you're going to host the number 16 team in that draw on that Monday to get into the playoffs. And like I said here, head-to-head dual matches will be considered if there are winning records against teams ranked ahead of you. We'll talk about more as we get to seedings there, but just to let you know, seeding, the UTR Power 9 is our basis where we start, and then we look at other criteria as well. And then the Barnes Center is going to host, is scheduled to host our team and individual championships this year. So we were there for co-ed, it was great, and it's just great to be back at the Barnes Center event. All right, I'm going to show you a couple things here. Any questions at that point, guys? I'm going to switch over to UTR. Let me look in the chat. All right, we're going to talk about UTR right now and your accounts and everything. As far as the home team determining the start time, yes, the home team does designate the start time. If it's a league contest, your conference determines the start time. So if you're in the same league, if you're playing a league match, you need to consult with your AD or your conference rulebook. It'll say what time your league contest starts. So just make sure you understand that with your athletic director. And everybody, communication is important in anything. We're still in COVID protocols. We have now the healthy starts to factor in. We have now sites, some schools that are playing not at home sites, they're playing at other sites. For example, I know Hoover is actually using Crawford for their home sites. So make sure if you're not sure, contact the other coach, use that directory, that's why we have it, to make sure you know where you're going, and vice versa. If you're hosting and there are special situations where you need to enter on this particular part of the campus, or players need to know certain things or coaches need to know certain things, please communicate that with your guests and visitors. That way you can just play the matches when you get there. You don't have to worry about other logistics or any other things that pop up. So it is important that you all communicate with each other on that.